Okay guys, geez, I hate that when you got to do it again. I just recorded it all, now I've got to record it all again. This is Central Bangkar. Have a look at these tuk-tuks. You've never seen a tuk-tuk like this in your life before. Now, you've got these traditional tuk-tuks here, you know, little Bangkok tuk-tuks, you know, like you see everywhere. The Phuket tuk-tuks are red little bus things, they're different completely. And I'll show you what we got here, mate. Oh, look, I've got to get activated, I've got to get a bit of emotion in my voice. I'll show you what we got here. You just stay with me. I guarantee you've never seen a tuk-tuks like these ones at Bangkar, the Bangkar tuk-tuk. Bangkar's favourite for two things. One is the fruit bat at the monastery, and the other thing that I think, oh, look at the chicken over there. Oh, I got distracted. I've got to go and have a look at the chicken. Look, oh, very good. Okay guys, here we go. We'll come and have a look at this. Look at the old building across the road there. Look at the river. They're all happening here. I could get run over really quick. There we go. Look out, it's all happening. Just something quietly, which I'm not allowed to say too loud. Have you noticed how many people wearing helmets at up country? Rightio, here we go, mate. Have a look at this for a tuk-tuk. There's a tuk-tuk. Now, I've looked at them before. Sawadee Cup. I've looked at them before. Oh, that one's a 3-cylinder one. Wow. The other ones I've looked at, it's only got 2 spark plugs. It's only a 2-cylinder. That's a 2-cylinder Daihatsu. The other ones I looked at before are the same build as this. Now I'll get back so you can see them. You got the bike part up the front. Then you got this great long distance to the seat at the back. That's a long way. That'll be 5 metres. And the other ones I've seen, which I'm trying to get to saying, have a 120Y Datsun motor in them. But this one's got a 2-cylinder Daihatsu. I don't know what sort of motor that is, where it come from, but he's only one, but there's about 4 or 5 or half a dozen of these working from here. They're obviously out somewhere else doing some stuff. Now just down here, that goes down to the big river. You can just see a little sailor at the end there. We're blokes sitting down there catching fish and prawns at the moment. I've just come from down there. And it's all shops. It's like a Chinatown area, you could say here. It's the original old buildings. It's you've got the concrete ones up the front there, but all these old ones are the old original buildings of all sorts of trades and things. There's even a place around the corner, they tell me, where you can go and put your gold. It's a gold bank. You put your gold in there and they store it for you so you don't get killed and people won't take your gold. Thailand's a fantastic place, and people say Thai people say, oh, Thailand's not too good, you know, it's a bit dangerous, but they've never been to the West. It's a lot more dangerous over in the West. In Australia, I come from Australia, I wouldn't walk through a major city after dark or up a street where it's a bit suspect, you know. I certainly wouldn't leave my bag like I did here to go over there, film my tuk-tuks and leave my bag sitting on the bench here. In a town like this, you can do that. I've got a push bike sitting there. You can see the front wheel of my push bike. It's just leaning there. No, nobody's going to take it. Although there's always the first time. Another point of discussion is gold. You know, the girls like to wear gold. Gold shows 2 things. One, that they've had a bit of success in their life financially. Number 2, you buy it and sell it. Every gold shop's got a price, buy price and a sell price. And what you buy it for is the weight of gold in the item, not the decoration of a jewellery like in the West. It's a weight of gold, and it's measured in bahts, the same as the currencies in bahts, but completely different thing. A baht is a weight of gold in Thailand, and it's also their currency is a baht, but they're completely different to each other. So you buy it for, just say, for $1,000 you buy 1 baht of gold. Next week it might be worth $1,200. And you'll get $1,200. Here comes a song tail come in. I tell you what they do. This is a little bit of in-depth stuff. They park them around the corner and come in, unload the people, but then they go around and park them up there. And then just before we're about to leave, they come and bring them into here and the people get on. So we don't have this whole area filled up with empty song towels. They're just up around the corner, the empty ones, waiting to come in, waiting their turn. They all know when they're going, and I haven't got a clue. Anyway, this is Central Bank Car. I rave and rattle on about my videos. I don't care. Well, I do care because I like to be watched. It's just something you do. You like to get some sort of acknowledgement that it's interesting what you're doing. It's what makes it interesting for me. My alternative would be sitting in a town in Australia. That could be a big town or a small town. At my age, I'm 65. I might not even be allowed out at this time of night. I'd be almost looking at a home. There is some independent people in Australia who support themselves, but I guarantee they wouldn't be allowed to wander around the streets like what I do over here and feel safe. Like if it gets dark, 2 hours, if I get 2 hours later, I can go 3, 4 hours later. I could probably meet up with some people and have a few beers and that and meander my way home, and no problems. I'm safe as hell. If I'm a lady wearing a lot of gold going up a narrow alley, you could be in danger. You can see my watch? That's right, I don't wear any jewellery. I don't carry much in my wallet. In a situation if something bad happens, I could say, yeah, look, here's my wallet, take it. They're not going to get too much. Just look at this, here comes a little tuk-tuk, he's coming in. And here comes a little cart with the noodle ladies coming in. They've got everything here, Joe, indeed. And 7-Eleven up there in the bank. 200 metres up that street, there's an enormous hardware store, which for you old buggers would be like the hardware stores in the old days in a country town. They've got absolutely everything, and you've got to wiggle through the aisles to get to what you want, but the person who runs it knows exactly what they got, and they've got everything. Makes Bunnings look pretty sick. Anyway, rattling on. But I'll keep talking and I'll cut a lot of this stuff out. I'll talk, and I'll cut it out, but I've got to not just talk. I've got to not talk in a monotonous and boring fashion. I've got to be excited. This is an exciting place. Here's the soup lady, look at her. She's setting up a little trolley over there. In Australia, she'd be saying, oh, you're a man, come and give me a hand. Over here, they say, what for? I can do it. This is real women's liberation over here. They do it themselves. They do it themselves. They don't put on the pretense. They're not these women that say, oh, I can do everything a man can do. Oh, I've got a flat tyre. Oh, can you come and help me? Can you come and help me? And put on the woman act. All independent until work's got to be done, and then they don't want to know about it. When the shit hits the fan, they want the men to help them. And then if you say no, you go and get your own man because you're a bossy old bitch and hunt and annoy everybody away from you and you haven't got a man. And then when the shit hits the fan, they go looking for some other man to help them. People say, oh, flat tyre. Your attitude has always been you hate men. Go and fix it yourself. There's the old lady there, just sitting out in the evening watching everything. What a lifestyle, love it. Another 20 years I might be doing it myself, sitting out in that little veranda. I was just talking to two blokes down by the river. They're all fishing down by the river. The old people come out and fish. And not all of them, but quite a few of them have got a little whiskey bottle beside them and some soda. They sit there and have a sip of soda and catch some fish. Got the cast nets out, throw out, catch some prawns. They got big prawns. They got prawns in the river here. From the claw to their tail will be 1.5 foot long. Most of it is claw, but they're pretty big prawns. Those big long clawed river prawns you might have seen on the different things around. You see them in all the markets in Bangkok when you go there to eat. They're in the river here. You catch them with a rod and a hook, believe it or not. That's how big they are. You use a little hook and a bait. Catch them one at a time. It's all right. When I went it was a bit slow, but that's like a lot of my fishing trips. Well, I've got to go home. I'm going to have a whiskey tonight. I'm a bit hot. I've been on the bike. I've been staying off a whiskey and a beer. I'm on the keto, so I don't drink the beer, but I think I will have a couple of whiskies tonight. It's hot, sweaty here, but comfortable. You can see by the bloke over there with his shirt off and that. It's warm. The old lady, somebody comes up and talks to her. Community, it's absolutely community. Everybody knows everybody here. Well, there's a big long video with a lot of editing. Some people have told me they like videos which they can just sit back and chill out and just let it rattle along. But I also recognise that there's other people who are in the workplace or at work or waiting at the bus stop or on the train, and they've only got a bloody mobile phone. So the picture quality, your beautiful, beautiful river images, beautiful footage, can't be seen. It's only just on the phone. So they want, a 2-minute grab a 10-minute grab at the most. This one's not going to be one of those. This is just a big long ramble. Sitting here, watching. The Thai people here know who I am now. If they didn't know who I was, there would be one or two come up and ask me if I needed directions to go somewhere or if I needed some help. They're not trying to sell me things like Bangkok, not trying to scam me like Bangkok and Phuket and all those places. Just genuinely. There's two things. One is they generally want to help you where you are. Number two is a lot of the younger people especially want to practice speaking English. They've learnt English at school, then they've gone out in the town, and around here, myself and my mate are the only two Westerners, or there's another Australian bloke, but he's going back this month, I believe. I only met him once. There's no one to speak English with, and they've learnt English, but they've got no one to speak with, and the outgoing ones will come up and start talking to you because they want to learn and practice and show you and show themselves that they can use English. And some of them are very good English speakers. I'll go up to 7-Eleven up there, just at the end, past that tent. A bottle of really good whiskey is about 15 bucks. There's 1 litre bottles of whiskey at another little shop, a little mum and dad shop up the road. It's 305 bahts for a blend, gold blend. You Thai people will know what I mean. Gold blend, it's a top level blend. Very, very good whiskey. 1 litre for 305 bahts. Now, given that 100 bahts is $5, that's about $15 and a few cents for 1 litre of good whiskey. Soda water to go with it is 10 bahts a bottle. 20 bahts is $1, so it's 50 cents a bottle for soda water to go with it. Coke is about 35 cents for a big bottle of Coke. If you want Coke with your whiskey, that's still quite an affordable option. But the Thai people just use soda mostly, and I don't mind soda either, but Coke's alright. Now see this noisy blogger across here? He's selling little fruit in a ute. They sit in the back, one bloke drives around, and there's two ways they do it. One is have a recorded voice and they just play it over and over and over. They go around the neighbourhood, or sometimes actually they sit in the back and spruik with a microphone, but it'll be mum or dad or someone will be sitting in the back with the fruit. Oh, I can't catch up to it. No, oranges they are. The oranges over here are green, that's another thing too, it just tricks you, green and small. There you go, you got 3 something for 100, whatever it is. I don't think it's 100 bahts, it'd be more, you get more than 3 oranges for 100 bahts, might be 3 kilos. Don't know on that one. But they roll around, make a lot of noise, but that's part of the business. I heard a funny story, I've got to tell you this, I heard a funny story. There's a bloke in Australia took his Thai wife over to Australia for a visit, and somewhere in the suburbs, I suppose Melbourne or somewhere, and he came home from work or he went away somewhere, he came home and she was sitting out in the nature strip, and she said, "What are you doing sitting on the footpath?" And she said, "Oh, I'm just waiting." He said, "What are you waiting for?" She said, "I'm waiting for the food cart to come along, I'm hungry." How long have you been waiting? "Oh, maybe 1 hour. He said, "You'd be waiting a lot longer in Australia. It doesn't happen over here." But in Thailand, there's always a food cart going up and down the street, especially in the evening when you're sitting out in the veranda having a beer. There's the quick cook sausages and things. Anything you want, it comes up and down. The dried squid, the meatballs, the bloody, all sorts of stuff, whatever. I was on the plane and the bloke said to me, he said, "Oh, of course they don't have recycling in Thailand." I sort of, what? I didn't want to be too abrupt with him. I said, well, actually they do. It's just that you don't see it as subtle. If I'm sitting here and I have a bottle of water, I just leave that water, empty bottle sitting here. And a man will come within a minute or 2 minutes, as soon as I leave, he'll come and pick it up and he'll put it in his recycle bin. So, yeah, I do recycle the plastic bags, but cardboard, glass, soft drink bottles are a commodity. Yeah, they recycle it. There's a huge metal recycling place here, and in front of our place is beautiful with the scrap steel coming in from the country to be recycled. It's full on recycling over here, cardboard and stuff. It's just as a subtle. So what I was getting to, when we're having a beer outside in our veranda at night, the bloke will come from across the road who sells us a beer. We just put our hand up and he brings us a beer. It's a pretty amazing service. But he also come across near the end of the night and collect all the empty beer bottles and take them back. Now, and if he doesn't, and they're sitting out in the morning, as somebody goes up and down all the roads in a little motorbike and a sidecar, and they collect all the recyclables from people's houses and rubbish bins. Now, the rubbish bin system over here is something different too. They have rubbish bins every block, I suppose you say. Every city block has a rubbish bin, a group of rubbish bins, big blue drums usually. And all the households bring their stuff up and put them in that bin. They don't have individual household bins here where we are. In other towns I've seen them, they're made out of car tyres, individual bins for each house. But here that's what they do. These are these little cart motorbikes with a thing on the side, cage on the side. They travel up and down and they just collect all the recyclables. They come to your house. They won't take it without asking. It'll be sitting out in the nature strip. They won't take them. They'll come and ask you and point to them and say, can we take them? And you say, yeah, no worries. And everybody smiles and away they go. Because you might have a favourite man or a lady. We had a lady come and I said, oh yeah, she's doing a good job. She's got a little kid. When you find out the local knowledge, oh, she's doing that because her husband's in jail. He's gone to jail, she's got to support the children, so she goes around and does the recycling. So you have your favourite recyclers and you keep your bottles and your stuff for certain ones, like that lady who's supporting her children while her husband's in jail for whatever. I think it was selling drugs or something. Drugs is a real big problem in Thailand with Thai people, getting bigger and bigger, with the young people mainly. Every country in the world, I think. I don't want to single out Thailand. I prefer my children to grow up in Thailand. It's a judgment statement. I would prefer my children to grow up in Thailand nowadays. Back when my children did grow up, my younger children grew up, yes, Australia was still good. As they got older, Australia was starting to get dodgy as hell. As they got their teenage years, Australia started, I'm talking about a country town, not the city, Australia started to get real dodgy. And nowadays it's just like those movies you used to watch of Detroit in America with the gangs and the bloody everything you could possibly think of. That's a sad thing to say. That's another reason why I like to sit here. I sit here, nobody's coming up asking me for money or anything. In Melbourne nobody coming up asking me for money. I don't know why they ask me for money. I must look like a soft touch, I think. One bloke come up and asked me, mate, can you lend us a couple of bucks? I burst out laughing. I'm more broke than he was. I'm always broke. Well. Another comment over here. Look at the cars. They're all new cars. There's no bombs around. Everybody's got new cars. There's a reason for that. I'll do another video on that. There is a real reason. It's cheaper to buy a new car than it is to buy a second-hand one as far as finance goes. 4% on a second-hand car. I think it's 2% on a new car interest. So, and nearly everybody buys their cars, put a deposit and then pay monthly, you know, on the what we used to call the Never Never. So you can buy a new car as long as you can keep up your monthly payments. With these cars nowadays that do, you know, 400,000 kilometres, you're never going to have to spend another dollar on it as long as you keep up the payments. So why would you buy an old bomber that you don't know its history? That's the reason, I believe. Okay, I'm going to get on my bike over here. I'll do the slow pan. There's my bike. Yeah, so I've got to get on my bike and head off up that road there and see what happens. Catch us. There you go, folks. Could you please share and like and even subscribe if you want to help me with this video channel.